So are you finally ready to stop pumping breast milk? If you are, this is the right video for you. So I'm sharing with you tips that are going to help you to know when and how to stop pumping breast milk. Yes, I also finally stopped pumping breast milk. Is it a relief? Yes. Do I enjoy that I no longer do it? No. Why? Because I know that every time I'm not with my child, they're not going to be, feeding on breast milk, because at least when I was pumping, I could live, okay, I work. So when I resumed with work, I proceeded and continued pumping breast milk as well as um, breastfeeding. But now currently, I'm only breastfeeding and he's feeding on other foods. So before I tell you the tips, let me show you how I was doing it. This is also going to show you on how to stop or when to stop. So forgive my art piece. This is a clock, sort of. So I tried to draw this to show you. So before I resumed with work, I had a particular schedule I was following. You get it? So it was more often. But when I resumed with work, I think also the body gets used. So with time, you no longer pump like you were. So when I just resumed with work, I would pump breast milk at 7 a.m. before leaving for work. By 10 a.m., I'm already ready to pump again. You know how it can be. They're already full and you need to, you need that relief. Then by 1 p.m., I would still be pumping. By 4 p.m., I would be pumping. And by 7 p.m., this I would do, especially when I'm at work. So I did this for several months. But then I realized that sometimes when I don't go home at a particular time, maybe by 5 or by 6, I am affected so much. By the time I get home, oh my God, all I want is to just pump or breastfeed. If you've been in that place, you could, you could share with us in the comment and tell us, how it feels. So I saw some advice. So I was told that as the baby grows, so now this is the when to stop pumping. So as your baby grows, number one, and they start feeding on solids, especially when they get to 6 months. And if your plan is not to pump for the 2 years, but you want to stop at a particular time, when they get to 6 months, try to regulate the time. Gradually pump. Do not do it consistently like you were. I'm going to tell you how I did mine, but that is the number one sign to know when to stop pumping. Another thing is when, because by 6 months your baby has started solids, so they are taking on solids, drinking other things like porridge, they're proceeding with formula if they were taking formula, and several other things, fruits. So the more they grow, the more they eat different things. Another sign is when your baby is eating more often, like they love solid so much, they're eating a lot. So that means that even if they drink other things, even if it's not only your breast milk, they will still be okay. Then another thing, sorry, I wrote my points here such that I don't forget them. Another thing is when you get pregnant again. That's also another sign. For example, you've been breastfeeding your child, whatever age they are, but then you conceive. It's already a sign that you need to stop pumping. Some people proceed, but if I was the one in that space, I think I would figure out on how to stop pumping. Then the other thing is when you're about to return for work. It is the case for other mothers when they're about to return for work. Some chill pumping because they're not ready to handle work, maybe because of the work environment they're in, where they work from, the distance between work and home, all those other factors. For me, I just chose to proceed with pumping because first of all, my child had refused formula. So I had to figure out, because they were in 6 months anyway, so I had to figure out how to continue pumping and also breastfeed at the same time until they made 6 months. And I also proceeded with pumping. We are now about to make a year, but I stopped recently. So that's why I'm sharing this video. So some, when they're about to go for work, it's a sign that they have to stop pumping. Me, my work environment was favorable, everything was favorable, everything was fine, so that's why I continued pumping. Then another sign is when you want to wean your baby gradually. So the other rule that you should know when you're going to stop pumping, please and please don't just stop. Don't just wake up and you're like, oh my God, I'm tired, I am done pumping. You will receive the effects of this. So anyway, I'm sorry for that, but you know what will happen when you just stop. So if you're planning on weaning your child gradually, this is a sign that you should stop pumping, because the more you pump, the more your body knows that it needs to keep creating more milk for your child. So when you stop pumping, you start like it is, you're gradually weaning your child. So by the time you wean them off the breast, whether 1 year, whether at 7 months, whether at 2 years, depending on how far you want to go, it will not be hard for you because you would have regulated your breast milk supply. So the how to stop, I was sharing with you the whens, the signs, So the how to stop: gradually decrease on the pumping sessions, like I've told you. So this is what I was doing when I resumed with work. I would do 7 a.m., 10 a.m., 1 p.m., sometimes midday, 4 p.m., then 7 p.m., 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 5 or 6 times a day. When he reached the 8th month, I decided to chill. 8th or I think 9. When he got to 9 months, I started stopping pumping at 7 a.m. Of course, it was painful. It hurt me, but I had to bear, because I want, by the time I wean him off, like the breast officially, for my body not to go through a lot and for him not to go through a lot. So I am preparing the both of us early enough. So it's depending on how you want to do it as a mother, but this is my way. Like, this is what I chose to do, such that it comes off easily for me, it comes off easily for him. So I stopped pumping at 7 a.m. and when I would go for work, I would be patient with my body. I would press on and press on. Then I did up to midday. At some point, I did up to 1 p.m. By the time I did it, was it painful? Yes, it was painful to keep milk for that long. But it can be painful for a few days. Me, I think it lasted for 3 days. By that time, I became not very fine, but at least I would go longer. So I just kept on, reducing the times of pumping, the sessions of pumping. So that's how you stop. I could say that is the easiest way to do it. Just stop. If you were doing 5 times a day, start by 3. If you were doing 6 times a day, if you're doing 3 times a day, reduce to 2, reduce to 1, and then until you don't do it anymore. So I reached a time whereby I would just do like at 4 p.m. Then I reached a time whereby I would do at 6 p.m. I reached a time whereby I would go throughout the day without pumping. As I speak of today, I can now go from the time I leave home in the morning until I return back home without pumping. Did it happen overnight? No. But has this process or procedure worked for me? It has. So I hope this will help you. You could share in the comment what you did, or what you're going to do, or what you've done, or what someone has shared with you and you feel it's helpful. Kindly share with us. We would want to learn more from you. I'm sharing with you things that I know, things that I've done, and things that I hope that are also going to help and improve you. But another thing that I would want to advise you as I conclude this video is that if you're not yet ready to wean officially or to stop breastfeeding, when you stop pumping, continue nursing your baby, continue breastfeeding. So every opportunity and chance you have with a child, make sure you breastfeed, such that your body is still in the know. Because right now, I'm not going to say that my milk supply just reduced just like that, but it was gradual. So right now I can go throughout a day if I don't have my child with me, and breast milk is there, but it's not painful, it's not hurting, until I think now I can go up to like 7 or 8 p.m. Yes, then I breastfeed in the night. I don't have a problem with it because until I'm ready to wean the child off. So this could be helpful for you. If you still want to breastfeed, if you stop pumping, do not stop breastfeeding. If you want to do both of them, even weaning, like breastfeeding a child, I think this could be the procedure. If you've been doing it a particular time, you could do. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. I love you.